In this video, we're going to guys the newest Kenjutsu tier list of Shindo Life. Now, the reason why I'm going to be making a new one, I know there hasn't been really any new Kenjutsus in the game, but they are introducing Kenjutsu trainers, so I do feel like this is necessary to make a new tier list, so you guys know what the best Kenjutsus in the game are. So if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to like, let's get right to the video, guys. Alright, so starting off with this Kenjutsu tier list, we're going to be starting with the Flame. I actually do think that this is a very meh, Kenjutsu overall. I do feel like the damage output it has, it doesn't really make up for the fact that it just isn't very good compared to the other Kenjutsus in the game, let alone good in general. I do feel like the Flame Ken will most likely get you in a worse situation than you were in beforehand. Now, I'm actually going to do Inferno Kenjutsu because it's literally just the same thing but reskinned it, but this one's going to be in good. It actually does do a little bit more burn damage than the other Flame Kenjutsu. I'm pretty sure if you do a damage side-by-side test, that Inferno Ken does do a lot more damage than Flame Ken, just because the burn damage is a lot more. Now, because of that burn damage being higher, it's definitely going to be in good instead of meh, even though it is just kind of a reskin version of it. Next up is going to be Miss Ken. This one's definitely be going into the top of meh. I actually feel like the fourth ability, they kind of, it used to be one of the most busted abilities in the game, but I feel like even now, even if they reverted it completely, that it would just not be that good anymore. I mean, in the meta has sort of changed. I do feel like people would probably use it for starting their M1 combos, but that's going to be about it. But I do feel like the move now, the fourth move, is the only one that's actually even somewhat good for Miss Ken, and even now it's only auto dodge cooldown, so you're not able to use any iframe whatsoever to escape a combo besides breakaways, just because you're stuck using Miss Ken fourth. But if you guys do not have an auto dodge in your kit, just slap Miss Ken in. It won't be the worst thing in the world, but I do feel like just because of that auto dodge cooldown, it should definitely be in meh instead of being anywhere else. Now up next is going to be Blood Moon and Moon Kenjutsu. There's literally nothing changed about it. It's just a complete reskin. There's nothing really different about it whatsoever. So Blood Moon and Moon, I actually do think that these are going to be going to the top of good right here. I do feel like these are actually very good Kenjutsus. Now, really good, I feel like that's kind of a stretch. I do see people use these sometimes, so they're definitely not the worst thing in the world, but it's just like right now in this meta, there's just usually better things to use than Kenjutsus, because Kenjutsus have such a long startup time, it kind of just makes them inferior to all the Kenjutsus that like take two hand sides. Two hand sides theoretically takes less time. It's a lot harder to cancel two hand sides than it is to cancel like a startup move like that, because it's so predictable. So I think that's just like Moon Ken. It's a pretty good, I gotta say, it's a pretty good Kenjutsu. I think if the meta wasn't what it was right now, Moon Ken would probably be absolutely busted, insane OP, just because it has really, really good combo potential. I mean, a lot of the abilities actually have like sleeps attached to it, or like just has big damage output. So yeah, actually, I really do like Moon Ken. I don't really use it that much myself, but I definitely see a lot of people use it, and it's definitely for a reason. I think Moon Ken is definitely one of the better Kenjutsus in the game. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Have you remembered to hit that like button on the video yet? If you haven't already, go ahead and do it. Now next is going to be Thunder and Shiver Ken. I'm going to be doing Thunder Ken first. Obviously, guys, in really good. It has the single best Kenjutsu ability in the entire game. It's going to be Thunder Ken second. You guys might have heard someone referencing it by this point. Thunder Ken's second ability is the ability that everyone uses. I've actually used Shiver Ken in PvP before, and I could not hit any ability besides the second one, because it's just the AoE of every single other ability is so tiny. It's so minuscule. You do not feel like a Demon Slayer. I'm going to tell you that right now. What you feel like is someone that barely even knows how to hold a sword, man. Like, the AoE size on a lot of those moves are tiny, but that single move is so good. It's just an extremely good move. A lot of people still use it to this day just because of how good it is. Let alone, like, the startup time doesn't matter because you can hit someone from across an entire arena. Like, the range on that second move is absolutely nuts. Now, Shiver Kenjutsu, this is going to be the reskinned version. It actually is better than Thunder Ken, not just because it looks better. I actually do think the different color does look better than the other one, but it actually does have a longer stun attached to it than Thunder Ken. You can actually see it clearly in the video itself. The stuns are actually slightly longer, let alone the first ability. The stun is actually a lot longer. It's like almost an entire second longer, which is a big deal in the game. But with the other abilities of Shiver Ken, they all do stun for longer. Overall, Shiver Ken is much better than Thunder Ken, but they're both really good because of that second ability. Now, Water Kenjutsu, this is actually the one, I gotta say it, guys, Water Kenjutsu would actually be broken if they didn't put that move on the stun global cooldown. But since it is on the stun global cooldown, it's definitely gonna be at the bottom really good. Now, if you guys do not know what I'm talking about, it's the whirlwind move where you actually like hit someone, you fly up in the air, and it does like a water prison stun to them. It actually was a huge buff to Water Ken because it actually was a true combo extender. So you could get on the ground and start M1ing them again before they could use any instant move. It was really nuts. I did see people use it in combos quite a bit. Water Ken was definitely like actually legitimately usable before that. But right now it still is really good. If you're not using any move on the stun global cooldown, you can just slap that move in your kit and you're actually overall a lot better than you were before. Most of the time, people struggle to fill up all their element slots anyway, so Water Ken, that second and fourth ability are actually, not the second, it's the third and fourth ability. They're actually quite good. The fourth ability is a pretty good block break. It does block break, stronger block. And then you have the second ability, which is the Whirlwind ability, which can help you charge your chi, because you can charge your chi as they're getting knocked back. I do feel like Water Ken is very usable. I actually do like using it myself. It's my favorite Kenjutsu in the game, but I do acknowledge that there's other better ones. Now, Wind Kenjutsu, this is going to be the one going into the, it probably being bad. I mean, there's a reason why nobody really uses it, and it's not because it's the most common one. I do feel like Wind Kenjutsu, it kind of had the best parts of it removed from it, so the AoE is absolutely tiny now. It doesn't really do anything anymore, and the people that kind of defend it, I understand that it may have been good in the past, but if you use it now, you're going to get your face stomped in just because of how bad it is. It is legitimately bad now. I would go to the point of saying that Wind Kenjutsu is very nearly unusable. You could go in the comment section and hate on me for this all you want, but I just do not view Wind Ken as good. If you could change my mind, go ahead. Just go ahead and comment what you think about it is good. By the way, guys, what is your favorite Kenjutsu in Shindo Life? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. Now, next up is going to be the Sun Kenjutsu. This will be the last one that we're going to do. It's going to be in good, probably above Inferno Ken. The damage output of Sun Ken, I'm pretty sure is the highest out of any Kenjutsu in the entire game. It does have the highest damage output, but the abilities are so predictable that it kind of makes it slack behind the other Kenjutsus. I do feel like if the startup of Sun Ken was a lot faster, that it would definitely be extremely good. People would use it like crazy just because of the actual versatility the moves have. Not only that, but Sun Ken does break you sometimes. The slam move, it does actually break your character sometimes. So, you know, that's not the greatest thing in the world, as you might imagine. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, guys. Bye-bye.